Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Ripple and XRP. So let's just dive in and let's talk about a few things. So I do want you guys to stay around until the end of this video, where we do really kind of talk about the price of XRP. You know, it's not for engagement purposes or anything like that, but we have so much to really kind of address in such a short amount of time. So let's actually really kind of just get in, talk about a few things, but definitely stay until the end of this video. So first off, we are going to be starting with the dollar here. You know, this is from Raoul Paul talking about, how we can get to $1.20 and why the dollar is so strong right now. He's saying, if the dollar keeps going, it's going to really break things. It has literally done a parabolic move. There's literally nothing until 120 if we break this weak trend line, and we do see that trend line there. And deviation from this trend suggests that it can get to $1.20. That is not good for oil. It's already $60 overvalued versus the ADXY. But it could cause a nasty week in risk assets. I don't think equities make new lows, but I'm not sure of that. Same with crypto. Personally, I think we get saved by weak economic data this week. Now, I just want to warn you guys ahead of time. September is a very bearish month for crypto. It could get extremely bearish. I have been averaging into some positions on this dip. Like I said, I'm DCAing in on every single crypto dip going forward right now. Why? Because look at the all-time highs compared to where we are currently. I feel safe. Now, what does that mean? I'm not DCing in heavy yet. Heavy comes when we do see extreme bearish circumstances. Throwing a little bit in here and there doesn't matter as long as you could double down when we do actually break down fully. Now, I know, in regards to this market, no one knows what's going to happen. Could September be bullish? Sure, but statistics have shown that September is probably one of the most bearish months for crypto. So I'm watching the fall time frame closely for a full-on bottom in crypto. We could have already seen our bottom, but I do think that we will see a major pullback going into the fall time frame. That is what I'm watching for. The dollar is key, though. Definitely watch the dollar closely. Also, talking about Ripple and XRP, we do see here from Diep H on Twitter, the number of banks joining RippleNet messaging layer from Swift is scaling up. Customers using on-demand liquidity, XRP as a bridge currency, are mostly fintech companies. A lot of banks are watching the crypto space, such as DBS Bank. This is from Navin Gupta at Ripple, June 22nd. I think that this is this year in June, but I might be wrong on that. But listen closely to what he is saying.
So firstly, almost majority of the banks, and I just want to be very open, are using the messaging layer of the Ripple Net, right? Where they're essentially communicating with A and B in a super efficient manner. And that is scaling up, right? Banks are using us more and more across more corridors, right? So for example, they may start with corridor in India, then they say, hey, you know what, I want to use you in corridor in Pakistan, in Morocco, and in lots in the US, and in multiple countries around the world. And primarily they were using Swift earlier, and they start to use RippleNet because this essentially allows them in terms of standardized API capability between two institutions, right? Most of the customers who are using us for the second part, which is the liquidity part, in which XRP is used as a bridge, are regulated PSPs, right? Or fintechs, which are essentially using it. Because for them, cost of capital is prohibitive, right? So on an average, sometimes the weighted average cost of capital, WACC, could be up to 30% for a fintech, versus for a bank, it tends to be almost zero because they have got huge amount of depositors' money. And then the last thing that I would say is, having worked at two banks for the last 15 years, banks are inherently conservative, right? It will take them some time to get comfortable with digital assets, even though it is being passed on through the regulated exchanges, right? So banks will take a little bit longer time in terms of adoption, but all of them are watching. So if you look at DBS, the bank in your region, they are already selling Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP to its customers. There are a lot of other discussions we are having with banks as well, who are saying essentially, our customers want to buy digital assets, and how do we participate? But has it come in terms of in an active form on our platform? It hasn't as yet, for the use of XRP as a bridge to transfer value.
And I also want to say, he just discussed how these major banks are sort of domino affecting around the world. They start in one area and then they say, all right, well, let's launch a corridor in this area, that area. That's what's going to be happening. The globalization of, XRP has been taking this entire world by storm. This is why we have been watching a few things. For an example, we actually do see over here in this diagram from XX underscore 1133, 1221 underscore 11. We do see this diagram of the Ripple XRP RippleNet protocol with a liquidity hub. We do see a few things here. First off, you do see like CBDCs and stuff like that. I would love to see a full-on on-demand liquidity connection globe. I think that that would be pretty cool, but this kind of gives us an idea on where everything is kind of headed within CBDCs, within liquidity, with even on-demand liquidity itself being, a major key player here. But we also look at the corridors. Like remittance corridors are huge right now, and we have been seeing a large globalization move with Ripple, with XRP. But CBDCs with RippleNet, with Liquidity Hub, even with on-demand liquidity, we are going to see a full-on globalization connection between this entire network. And this is what we have been waiting for. This is what we have been watching as well closely unfold at a very, very high rate, by the way. Tranglo has been one of the biggest players here in regards to a lot of connections, but so has Finasher. So has, some other players too, like even Volante. We've talked about Volante just earlier today. But there's so many major names that are tied to Ripple that could allow for corridors to be starting to like really launch at a very fast rate. But we have been watching the globalization of Ripple with XRP. Now also, a lot of areas around the world where Ripple has made a major impact have been launching a few other things as well. And shout out to eGreg Crypto on Twitter. We do see new regulation makes UAE one of the first countries to implement such a mechanism for real estate transactions involving virtual assets. And we do see over here in this article, this is talking about moving towards, utilizing virtual assets and even cash in regards to like real estate payments, sorry. And it says here, explained UAE's new real estate rule regarding payments using virtual assets and cash. The new regulation makes UAE one of the first countries to implement such a mechanism for real estate transactions involving virtual assets. Here's everything you need to know. And they do kind of break this down. Most of it is around like payment methods, utilizing virtual assets, utilizing digital assets in general. This is going to be pretty big. I would argue that, and by the way, we have been watching this very closely around real estate because real estate is also a huge market. This is well over $300 trillion. In fact, down here we actually do have a full-on amount. It is $326.5 trillion. This was the 2020 valuation of this, by the way. I know that recently we kind of saw a little bit of a drop here, but overall, this is a huge market. This is a massive market to disrupt. But why haven't we been like focusing on this? Well, tokenization of real estate is also a very large aspect to continue to watch for as well because it unlocks a lot of liquidity around real estate. Remember, real estate itself is a very illiquid asset class, and it's very hard to actually transact and move things a lot quicker. If you closed out on a house, if you bought a house or anything, you understand how long that process actually is. Utilizing something like a digital asset or even utilizing something where you could tokenize, real estate and kind of have it transacted in a very, very fast real-time basis could streamline that entire process, making it a lot less friction, making it a liquid class as well. There's a lot of efficiencies around utilizing tokenization and even digitization around real estate. And I think that this is one of the most perfect asset classes to fully disrupt from a crypto-driven space area. And like I said, $300 and almost $30 trillion is a very large amount of money to disrupt all at once. And this could very well be a thing going forward, as we have been seeing a lot of things kind of moving quickly around real estate. And also, why is the UAE such an important area to look at? Well, we just recently seen Tranglo make a big impact in the UAE. And we did report on this. This is more so around like remittances, but XRP is a huge asset in the UAE area as well. Now, a lot of people say, like, I don't think that this partnership uses on-demand liquidity. Happy to be wrong, though. Again, we don't actually have a full-on confirmation of this, but Tranglo has been working very closely with XRP and on-demand liquidity. A lot of their partnerships, actually, with some other major companies, have been utilizing XRP with on-demand liquidity. And they are focused on digitization. They are focused on a lot of areas around this specific space. They even talk about like cross-border payments in regards to like B2B payments. There are $42.7 trillion projected value in 2026. Currently in 2021, they were around like 34 trillion. So they are focused on a lot of areas, and they have been marketing, Ripple with on-demand liquidity for a while on their website. So it wouldn't, to me personally, it wouldn't make sense for them not to utilize on-demand liquidity. Like, even for an example, like here is the one that we talked about just recently. Like Tranglo and Ripple gave GEA maximum working capital to grow their business in just 3 months, 70% growth in transactions, 3 times processing value. Like, this is huge. Like, Ripple is literally unlocking massive amounts of volume and value for some of these major companies. And I think that this is something special to watch for, something like even with Tranglo as well, because Tranglo is such a major giant around the world, as a major connection to some of these major companies, and also even payment corridors. And also, talking about a few things around XRP. Here is the price range targets. This is what we wanted to look for. So I don't pay attention to these, and this is not like no, disrespect to anybody. I don't pay attention to these charts on XRP. I don't think technical analysis matters too much with XRP. I'm actually more so worried about utility-driven price and also buyability after the fact in regards to a settlement around the SEC lawsuit. A lot of these prices for XRP, like the $256 XRP target that we do see here for this like third wave, I don't want to say it's nonsense. I just think that it's reckless price targets, right? We've seen this so many times in this market where a lot of people will say, 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000. We've talked about this, right? To me, none of these price targets matter. What matters is this: the price before a settlement and after a settlement. Why does that matter so much? Well, not only does it provide, a sort of demand price for XRP, but it also provides, the real value of XRP. Remember, before the settlement, XRP's price is extremely suppressed. I would argue that it's been suppressed since 2018's all-time high. So when we look at XRP, we don't know the actual value of XRP right now. Not only that, but we don't know how large of an impact XRP is making currently in the world. Off of a utility-driven price, XRP could be $100, $200, $300. Like, we don't know the price of XRP. No one knows the price of XRP. All we know is what XRP is trading at currently. We don't know what XRP is going to be trading at in an hour, 2 hours, 5 days, 10 days, 20 days. And even the bearish price action too. Like, nobody knows if XRP is going to drop to 1 cent, 5 cent, 10 cent. Like, nobody knows this. So it doesn't make any sense to be caught up in any of these price targets. What matters is where you want to sell your XRP at. Now, again, mind you, do not sell 100% of your bag. Unless you want to be fully out of XRP, go ahead, sell 100%, whatever you want to do. I have my own plan. I'm always going to be holding a certain percentage of my bag. It could be 25%, it could be 50%. It does not matter to me. I have my tradable assets. I also have assets that I will hold long term. I do have a bag of XRP that I will hold long term until, certain prices are met. Those prices could be 100, it could be whatever price it wants to go to. But all we know is that around this market, we will see a utility-driven market being ushered in. Now, here's a tweet that says, is XRP going to reach $100? Yes. Watch this carefully, and you'll see exactly how. This is from 24 Hours Crypto on Twitter, but listen closely to this video.
So as you guys could see, we have the global payments with RippleNet. We're going to start off with 1 XRP at $1.25 in this calculation, and I'm going to share with you guys how this is all going to work. And in this little breakdown, I'm missing a lot of different stuff, but this is just to kind of give you guys a rough conservative outlook without confusing a lot of you. So as you guys can see, we have banks. Again, this could be securities, global transfers of funds. It could be wholesale. Anything's kind of in here. So just look at the values and how much XRP you would need to move that value. As you guys could see, the total value in this diagram is just north of $2 million. If you want to move $6, you need 4.8 XRP.
And by the way, all of these prices like that you see, like the total value here and the amount of XRP you would need, you need a substantial amount. And this is like when XRP was trading at about $1.25. If you actually move this a little bit further beyond, you could see the amount of XRP that you would need. And you could see that if you would have a price, that is higher. Like, for an example, this is million, billion, trillion. This is like $1 trillion. You need about 800 billion XRP at a price of like at $1.25. Sorry. Now, why would it need to be $100, right? Well, you have a lot of these banks that are transacting quite a bit. In order to have a higher, like, the higher the price of XRP, the faster and easier it is to actually move these payments. If XRP was trading at $10, this would be a lot easier to move. If it was trading at $100, it would be a lot easier to move. We've seen this happen in the past as well, like where we heard a breakdown from David Schwartz saying, like, the higher the price of XRP, the better and, the more efficient the payment mechanism actually works. Now, it is already a very efficient payment mechanism, but when we look at the global payment scheme, it is substantial. And we actually do see down here, and a lot of people will call it like a centralized, garbage coin. It's funny that people will say this, but it's stupid that we even have those arguments still within this market. But we do see even a breakdown down here. Like, this is where you see like a $5 trillion payment move. You only need 50, billion XRP in order for it to be worth like $100, dollars. That would basically be the payments means. The higher the price of XRP, a lot more efficient the payment mechanism just becomes. That's why, it does demand a higher price range on it. Again, nobody knows what that higher price range will be. All we know is that, a double digit is just the beginning for XRP, in my opinion, once we are in a utility-driven market. But I'm not here to give you guys a specific price breakdown on XRP. I'm not going to be holding until $100. I'm not going to be holding until, a certain price. I'm just going to be selling my XRP at my, demand targets, which is around like the $8 to $13 range. I know that the $10 to $15 range is always something that I have been saying. That is also a very high likely, chance that we see that after a settlement. A settlement could bring it to $30, for an example. But to me, I don't really care where XRP goes, in the short term. I don't really care where it goes even in the long term, because I'm going to be holding a bag regardless where it goes. I'm not going to be caught up in the $100 price prediction. I'm not going to be caught up in the $200 price prediction, the $500, the $1,000, etc. Will I still have a bag at that time? 100%, because I do believe that digitized assets like XRP, even HBAR, etc., are the future. So I'm going to always be a part of this market, no matter what. I think that this is probably one of the biggest opportunities of a lifetime that we have in front of us. I think that this is way bigger than the internet. I think that this is way bigger than anything in history, because you only see this once. This is like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to, not only be a part of a digitized revolution around the entire monetary landscape, but also to be able to have an asset like XRP, which we already know the power and the potential behind with on-demand liquidity. It's such a huge opportunity. And I think that this is an incredible opportunity that a lot of people are overlooking just because of price action alone. Remember, we don't even know the utility prices of some of these assets. All we know is that XRP did hit almost $4 back in 2017, 2018, when there was barely any money in this market. Now we have a lot more money in this market. Even at the all-time highs, a $3 trillion market cap for all of crypto is laughable. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you guys have more free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, you all have a beautiful day, beautiful night, wherever you guys are on this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.